Welcome to Dodgers Dogs. As part of the Dodgers Daily Network, we're going to go ahead and go live until Mark can get his. I'm going to go ahead and put him over here. Until Mark can get his headphones set up, we will go live here. What a great game. In Game 3, the Dodgers take absolute control of the NLCS. We're about to bring Mark. I do not have audio from Mark yet, and so we're going to continue to test until I get it from him. But what a great game for the Dodgers in Game 2. First of all, the first thing that I don't have a whole lot of notes because there wasn't a whole lot actually to evaluate about this game. It's as simple as this. The Dodgers have better pitching than the Brewers can handle. First of all, it's obvious the Brewers are having a very difficult time handling velo. It's obvious the Brewers are having a very difficult time handling any kind of upper echelon pitching. And hey, we saw there in the third or fourth inning when Durbin got the hit up the middle, or Durbin got the hit, and then you got Bauer the hit up the middle. You saw Tyler Glass, and you got a stolen base. Tyler Glass now had a mistake at second base where he tried to pick off, I believe it was Durbin there at second base. And then Isaac Collins, it hits the ground ball, and Max Muncy makes a really nice play on a ground ball to third base. So we saw that's the formula for the Brewers right there, is to get on, get over, where we saw the stolen base, and then get them in where you saw the ground ball to Isaac Collins. And then they force you into making very difficult plays defensively, something that Max Muncy was actually able to do. So once again, in that situation, the Brewers played the exact style of baseball they wanted to. The Dodgers just outclassed them with Max Muncy making that play. That was really the only threat for the Brewers all night long last night. And here's another thing about the Dodgers pitching too, and that is that, it's not just the fastball that the Dodgers are beating the Brewers with. It's just overall, it's the fact that you have to have, we've seen Bryce Terang, the lefties especially for Milwaukee. One thing I really like about what the Dodgers are doing, the lefties for the Phillies, they have they kind of swing up, like Bryce Terang has that upward incline to a swing. So the Dodgers have used their velo and their high echelon type fastball type pitches to attack the top of the zone against Milwaukee. And then the sequencing has been fantastic. And then the one thing the Dodgers have done to really put the Brewers in a big, big hole is that they have thrown strike one. They have put the Brewers in the defensive mode. Offensively, what Milwaukee wants to do is that they want to take pitches, they want to get ahead in the count, they want to grind pitch counts, they want to draw walks, they want to steal bases, they want to hit behind runners, they want to hit sacrifice flies, and they want to play the get on, get over, get in. Well, the old saying in baseball is you cannot steal first base, right? So Mark's trying to log in right now. Let me text this. Can't hear you. Yeah, so you can't steal first base. So the Brewers, they're learning in this game here and this series that, you got to have guys that, first of all, can handle upper echelon pitching. You're seeing the Dodgers that whenever the Brewers beat of course they did see Yoshinobu Yamamoto, but when the Brewers beat the Dodgers 6 games in the regular season, they didn't see Blake Snell. They didn't see the pitching that they have seen in this series. And so this is really an entirely new Dodgers team that they are seeing in this postseason so far. And so they have not been able to handle it whatsoever. So the Dodgers have done a great job pitching to the weaknesses of the Brewers. And the thing that they've done, like I said, is they have not allowed them to draw walks. The Dodgers have thrown strikes. One way to lose very fast to Milwaukee is to put them on first base with free baseball. The Dodgers have not done that. The Dodgers have played good defense. You saw the great play by Max Muncy. You saw the great play from Mookie Betts to start the 9th inning. And if Mookie Betts doesn't make that play, hey, the tying run's on base, the leadoff man's on base. It's an entirely different situation. If Max Muncy doesn't make that play, and by the way, that's the one-out contact play where at third base, you don't wait to see where the ball's at. With one out, you just go home. And God, tell you what, on that play, give Will Smith a lot of credit for blocking the plate. And then Tyler Glass now, did a great job of dropping in some very strategic curveballs. He had the entire mix working, and he had the entire mix working. With also being able to, with the entire mix throwing strikes at the same time. So it was, it was one of those deals where it was kind of it wasn't like a really eventful game. This has not been a super eventful series. The Dodgers have just outpitched the Brewers, and it has been a series to where the Dodgers just have shown that they are the way the better team. And again, if you're Pat Murphy, I think he probably outthought himself a little bit with the Jacob Misiorowski, not starting him, starting Alan Ashby instead. There is no margin for error. Now, I don't think the Brewers would have won anyways, because if you only score one run and you don't hit, bottom line is, if the Brewers don't hit, they have 9 hits the entire series. If they don't start hitting, nothing that they're going to do is going to be successful in this series. So, hey, you can crunch this or that. And Pat Murphy is one of the best managers ever, really, in my opinion, all the way back to his college days, his bench coach days, his managing days this year with the Brewers. He's a great manager, okay? But we said on the pregame show yesterday, Jacob Misiorowski needed to start this game. Milwaukee needed something good to happen early in the game. And instead, by starting Alan Ashby, the Dodgers are already ahead before Misiorowski ever was even entered the game. So I think probably Pat Murphy, I understand what his philosophy was there. By doing the opener with Alan Ashby, the reason why you do that is, one, you think you have better matchups in the first inning, like you have left on left to Shohei Ohtani. Maybe Freddie Freeman goes to the 3-hole like he'd been all a year, or whoever it may be, and you have a left on left there. And so, first of all, you try to get a good matchup against Ohtani. That didn't work out. Actually, the Dodgers kind of got lucky there. Ohtani's butt went in the bucket there, but he was able to stick his bat out and get a base hit. That's number one, is maybe you think that it messes up with the matchups as far as the starting lineups go with the Dodgers. And then number two, really the big deal why you do the opener whenever you need a guy like Misiorowski to knock down the bulk innings, is that whenever the Dodgers are set to go through their lineup for the third time, then that's only the second time that Misiorowski would have faced the top of the lineup. So what that allows Misiorowski to do is to go through the Dodgers lineup 3 times. By starting an opener, that gives you the ability to allow your bulk inning guy to get through a lineup 3 times. I understand the philosophy, but hey, call it an amateur, call it too much of an amateur plan, call it whatever you want. But I just think you have to go with the best you have available. Don't overthink it. Let Jacob Misiorowski start the game, try to build an early lead, and then bring in the Alan Ashbys and those guys and the rest of your bullpen, maybe after you've built a 2 or 3 run lead, after you've gotten momentum. So I thought Pat Murphy definitely outsmarted himself on that situation. I thought the Dodgers bullpen, hey, Alex Vesia had an up-down. They made things very, very, very stress-free. Alex Vesia was good, and then Blake Trinan. Hey, I'll tell you, the Jackson Chourio at bat where he got hurt, and then to add insult to injury for the Brewers, Jackson Chourio goes out. He can't finish the game, and he goes off the field, and they have to finish the at-bat. I can't remember who it was that finished the at-bat for him. Now, I'm terrible with names. Names escape me. But you end up giving out of that inning. And the significance there was Blake Trinan was Blake Trinan. He was throwing strikes, and in that last at-bat for the third out, they had that spanned 2 different hitters. Blake Trinan threw 8 pitches, okay? He threw 8 pitches on that at-bat. 7 of those pitches were sweepers. How about that? That is Blake Trinan to a T. And then, hey, sometimes we talk about that, like a 4 or 5 run lead seems like it's not big enough. It feels like you need way more, like it's kind of a vicarious, a precarious type of lead where you're like, oh man, 5 runs doesn't seem like a whole lot. There are some games like that. And then there's other games to where like a 2-run lead, like when Roki Sasaki came in, a 2-run lead just felt like it was totally insurmountable. Now that 2-run lead was made more insurmountable by the great play by Mookie Betts to start the 9th inning. But you can just tell in terms of the aura of the Brewers. The Brewers are a confident team. They're a fun team. They're a happy team. They're a positive team. They mimic their manager, right? And so they play with an amount of confidence. They play with a, hey, this is what we do. We don't think you can beat this. We play a good brand of baseball. We're a good team, and we don't fear anybody. They have a certain amount of confidence that they play with that is totally gone right now. I mean, the air is out of the balloon of the Milwaukee Brewers, and you can feel that. And to give the Dodgers credit, this is not, hey, you can say the Brewers only have 9 hits. The Brewers aren't doing this. The Brewers aren't this. The Brewers aren't that. Hey, Pat Murphy should have done this instead. You can say all that you want, okay? But when it comes down to it, we said in our NLCS preview, we felt like if the Dodgers play their A game, the Cubs have the most amount of talent to be able to challenge the Dodgers A game, and that turned out to be right. The Milwaukee Brewers needed the Dodgers, at least their starting pitchers, to bring somewhere around a B or a C game. Now, the series is not over. You still have to win one more game, and the Brewers have won 4 games in a row 10 different times this year. So, hey, it's not impossible that this series is not over, so I don't want to sit here and say it is, but what the Dodgers have done is they have taken all the starch out of the Brewers. They've popped their balloon. They've taken all of the air out of the balloon of the Brewers, okay, which you see quite a bit because they took it right to them. They threw strikes. They've only allowed 9 hits in 3 games. They played really, really good defense. They've had opportunistic hitting. Tommy Edman, a couple of different times, has had very opportunistic hitting. Shohei Ohtani got the Dodgers on the board tonight with a leadoff base hit. So not necessarily, great offense. Of course, on the show yesterday, I defended the offense because the arms they've seen, Jacob Mizorowski is just fantastic, right? The offense has been good enough especially whenever you put into the account the type of pitching the Dodgers are facing. The offense has been good enough to play. Here's the deal. It's called complementary baseball, okay? So the Dodgers have played good complementary baseball, and what I mean by that is they haven't had to play for the 5-run inning. They haven't had to play for 2 or 3 crooked numbers in a game to win. They've just had to play for, hey, Tommy Edman, shorten up and get a base hit. Hey, Will Smith, get a base hit to right center in game 2 and get a base hit to left center tonight. Let's just put the ball in play with 2 strikes and see what happens. That's all they've needed to do. And so not only considering the pitching the Dodgers have seen, could you say the Dodgers offense, although they're not scoring 1 million runs, has been good. I think the biggest compliment you could give this Dodgers offense, just look at the way that they scored tonight. Andy Pages has laid down a couple of bunts in this series. Tommy Edman's come up with some big, and hey, in game 2, 5 hits were with 2 strikes. And then you scored almost all your runs with 2 outs. So I think the biggest compliment you can give the Dodgers offense is that they have played great complementary baseball to the pitching and defense the Dodgers are playing right now. So, hey, we don't need 11 runs, so let's lay down a bunt. So, hey, we don't need 4 crooked numbers in this game. Let's just bang. Let's get 2 singles, a walk, and advance a runner like the Dodgers did in their first rally tonight. That's winning baseball. And so, yes, is it explosive? No. Is it scoring 8 or 9 runs? No. But is it complementing what the pitching staff is doing to the Brewers? Absolutely it is, because you feel like all you have to do is now, again, the Dodgers did squander the bases loaded, no outs situation in game 2. I get it. You're always going to have situation, and they only went 2 for 11 with runners in scoring position. So it's not perfect, but it's good enough complementary baseball to where whenever you have a team outmatched like the Dodgers have so far with the Brewers, then you just kind of let the game just expire. That's what's happening. The Dodgers are playing good complementary offense. The pitching is coming through and just letting the game expire. So once you take the air out of the balloon of your opponent, then what you want to do is that you want to make it boring. I say it all the time, get a lead and make it boring. And so how do you make a game boring? Throw strikes. Not only do you throw strikes, you still mix things up. But really what you're saying is throw strike one to spots of the zone that the Brewers can't hurt you on. That's what the Dodgers have done over and over and over. And then what you see the Brewers, once they get behind an account, they get really antsy because the scripts have flipped on them. They don't know what to do in a situation to where the Dodgers are beating them at their own game. And so they really, you can just kind of see what the hell do we do now? We want to take pitches, we want to walk, we want to steal base. We can't even get to first base. So what do we? It's kind of like an offense in football. When you have an offense where, yes, they have a great run game, but they don't have a great passing game where they can't come up with the big play. Like the big play in football would be like the home run in baseball. When you have a team, the Brewers, whenever you equate them to like a football team, they would be a team that goes first down, they run the ball, they get 4 yards, it's 2nd and 6, and then second down, they run the ball or throw a little bubble screen. They get 4 yards, it's 3rd and 2. Third down, they run the ball, first down. They have to stay ahead of the chains. But what happens whenever you sack the quarterback and now all of a sudden it's 2nd and 15 or 3rd and 15? Now they have to drop back and throw the ball, or you score 3 or 4 runs, 3 or 4 touchdowns early. You get them in a 14 or 21-0 hole. And now the Brewers need to hit a couple of deep balls. They need to throw the ball to get back in the game. It's like that team that has to go 2 yards in a cloud of dust, and then you get ahead of them, and they have no pivot. One of the big differences between the Dodgers and the Brewers right now is that the Dodgers are a very multifaceted, they are very dynamic, and they are very complete in the way that they can score. They can hit home runs. We've seen that with Teo. We've seen Freddie Freeman hit home runs. They can steal bases. We've seen that, no doubt about that. They can bunt. They can gather base hits from Tommy Edman and Will Smith and Freddie Freeman and Shohei Ohtani, whereas the Brewers pretty much have kind of pinned themselves into an offense to where, hey, we have to go first down, second down 6, third down and 2. We have to stay ahead of the chains. Whenever the Dodgers throw strike one to one of their hitters, think of that as a first down play in football. Imagine that the Brewers turn around and they hand the ball off on first down, and they're a type of offense that needs to get 4 yards to stay ahead of the chains. And instead of getting 4 yards in that first down play, the Dodgers tackle them in the backfield in a 2nd down and 12. Okay, that's exactly the same to a team that doesn't throw the ball at all, very much or very well. That's the situation the Dodgers, they're putting the Milwaukee Brewers hitters in 2nd and 12 all series long by the way they're throwing strikes. And then on the other end, it's kind of like, you see this in football a lot too, where an offense will come out very aggressive. Hey, they'll throw the ball here, they'll run the ball here. All of the pass game is married off the run game. So like you run an outside zone, then you run an outside zone, you play fake that, then you hit a slant, and then you run an outside zone, you play fake that, then you fake a slant, and then you throw the deep dig off the slant. So you have a slant and a dig, and then you hit the big shot off of the first of all, the run play you ran, and then the pass play you ran off the run play, and then you hit the third prong of everything you built right there, right? You kind of do all of that, which is the Dodgers offense. And then you get a couple of score lead, and then you just melt the clock. You just keep the ball away from the other team. You don't give them enough possessions to even breathe or to feel like they have the chance to come back, which is the Dodgers pitching right now. You don't give them any artificial momentum, and the other team just simply isn't good enough to create their own momentum. So I also think another factor of this is, I said this earlier, the fastball up in the zone really beats the Milwaukee hitters, especially the ones that can do damage. Bryce Terang can do damage. Christian Yelich can do damage. Andrew Vaughn can do damage. I just think the fastball up in the zone really has been a big factor too for the Brewers. So the Dodgers, the Dodgers are doing what they are supposed to do. And to be honest with you, I can't even say the Brewers aren't. All I can say is they are not even giving the Brewers a chance to execute, because the Brewers so far just haven't, from a talent perspective, been able to keep up with what the Dodgers are doing from the perspective of trying to face the Dodgers pitchers. Tark the Shark, Casey, the Brewers are kicking 70-yard field goals every possession. Hey, your favorite manager, Mike Schilt, retired the other day. Are you bummed? CNAV, I went over this. I personally think Mike Schilt, on the show yesterday, I think he quit because he didn't want to put up with Fernando Tatis Jr. and Manny Machado, both punks. And, hey, if you go back to the beginning of the season, you probably won't remember this, but Coach Holt and I had a long discussion about how much we respected Mike Schilt. He was with the Cardinals. Many, if not most people around here are Cardinals fans because of the Tulsa stations used to bring in Jack Buck and Dizzy Dean, and that was the team you could listen to on the radio in Oklahoma until about 25, 30 years. Then the Rangers came Then the Rangers came in. Then the Dodgers minor league came in. So a lot of Cardinals fans around here, plus Matt Holliday, who graduated from Stillwater High School. His brother's the head coach at Oklahoma State now. He played with the Cardinals forever. So we are very familiar. Plus, my best friend Eddie Days played in the Cardinals system for 10 years, and he managed in that system too. So we know all about the Cardinals. So we know all about Mike Schilt and his time with the Cardinals. I'm a big fan. I was a big fan with him coming in. I had a lot of respect for him. Super classy dude. Then all of a sudden he goes to San Diego, and all of a sudden he's a diva too, just like everybody else. He turns into kind of one of those pricks, and I'm like, what the hell? This isn't the Mike Schilt that I know. And so I just think he got tired of kind of living up to that bad boy persona. It's not what he is. I think he got tired of dealing with the best players on that team being the biggest pricks. And so for that aspect, I actually really do like Mike Schilt. I just think he got caught up in the San Diego punk culture, and he tried to kind of create, we're going to try to intimidate you, and the Dodgers were like, screw that. That's not happening. So I kind of think that's what happened there. Hey, CNAV, the bullpen was good tonight. Trinan scared the crap out of me with the 2 85-mile-an-hour sliders he left in the middle of the plate. One to Churio and one to the batter that finished the at-bat. I can't remember his name. Yes, he did, but I'll say this, CNAV, what Blake Trinan has done, the adjustment that he has made, if you go all the way back to the one that he hung, about 2 weeks ago, it was a big game at the end of the year, and actually it was the beginning, it was in the Reds series, and the one adjustment that he's made is to me, he's made a commitment. I don't care if I get hit. I don't care what happens. I am throwing strikes, okay? And so, hey, if I hang one, if they hit one, fine. But I'm not doing what I did in the regular season at the end. I am not giving away free baseball, and I am not going to allow the other team just to not have to do anything to beat me. They're at least going to have to hit something, even if it is a hanger. And so he is committed to at least throwing strikes. And so to say, hey, let's go ahead and throw strikes. Yes, that means you're probably going to leave a couple out over the plate, and you're just going to have to hope that the other team misses. And sometimes they do, just like the Reds did, just like Churio did. But I would have to think that the presentation of Blake Trinan tonight was one that was very pleasing. And then, hey, Roki Sasaki, after the game one outing against the Brewers where he looked very, very nervous, wow, did he look a lot better tonight. Wow. So you knew, Coach Holt said this the other day, you knew that Dave Roberts was going to send his ass right back out there just like he should. And if you notice, Dave always talks about trusting his pitchers. Dave is huge on trust for a great reason because, hey, it's one thing if you're managing the Royals and, hey, if we make the playoffs, everybody's happy. You don't necessarily have to throw guys out there you can trust. You can throw the guys out there that you say, hey, go develop some trust. And if you fail a couple of times, it's great. We're not in that situation. The Dodgers aren't in that situation. Dave's not in that situation, okay? He uses the regular season for that, yes, but when it comes postseason, Dave is fully aware that there is no margin for error because if they don't win the World Series, it is not considered a successful season. Now, if the Dodgers beat the Brewers next game and then either the Mariners or the Blue Jays beat the Dodgers in the World Series, is it a failure of a season? Well, hell no, it's not a failure. It's still a good season, but is it a successful season? I think you could debate that. I would say no. Only a successful season for the Dodgers is defined by win the World Series, okay? There's a difference between saying it's not a failure, but yet it's also not a successful season, okay? So to say that, Dave knows that they have to win the World Series for people to be happy, so he can't just be throwing guys out there unless he in his own mind knows that he can trust that guy. And then also, if the Dodgers don't win the World Series, he knows he's going to take on a butt ton of criticism, whether it's warranted or not. It doesn't matter. That's what happens when you're the manager of a team like the Dodgers. When you win, you're supposed to win because you have the most talent. Whenever you lose, it's your fault. That's just the nature of the beast when you're the manager with the Dodgers. So when you're in that situation to where, if you lose, you're going to take on a ton of criticism, what you end up doing is you only put the guys out there that you know that you can trust. So if it doesn't work out, at the end of the day when you're getting all that criticism, you can live with it just fine, because in your own mind, you did what you knew, at least what you thought you knew, was best for the team. And all you can do is what you think is best, and then you let the chips fall where they are. And in this game, you're going to win a lot and you're going to lose a lot, but you can put your head down at the end of the night and feel great about the decisions you made, although you're not happy about the fact that you lost. So trust for Dave. If you've ever been in that situation to where you have the expectations that he has, it's totally understandable that trust in terms of how is this pitcher or this player going to be able to handle the moment. That is probably the number one thing for him, and totally understandable that is the case. Gregory, what's up this evening? Thank you so much for joining. Bruce Davis, hi, Coach Casey. Everyone, good win. Hey, Bob Student 10, that was a beautiful game. Hey, that was baseball. And I'm not going to lie to you, it was a non-eventful. It was not overly exciting. It wasn't like game one exciting. It wasn't some of the Padres in the middle of the regular season exciting. It wasn't Philadelphia Phillies exciting. But you know what? Whenever you're on your way to winning 13 games in the postseason, you need periods of time to where you're not just in high leverage and high stress every second of the game or the games, or you're just run there. So games like tonight, after an off day where they kind of felt, easy for me to say, felt stress-free. I never felt stressed at all. I never felt like the Brewers, I just never felt like anything was going to happen other than the Dodgers were going to figure out a way to score a couple runs and the Brewers weren't going to score again. Now, anything can happen. Andrew Vaughn can run into one after a base hit by whoever in front of him. That can happen, but I just did, especially, once Mizorowski came out and the Dodgers got to him, I just kind of felt like that's game over, right? Just hold serve until you can get there and then score a couple runs late. Just don't walk anybody, flip some off-speed pitches in, and let's win the game. It was that stress-free for me. Now, I'm sure if Dave Roberts was listening, which obviously he's not, or if Tyler Glasnow or Roki Sasaki or Blake Trinan or Alex Vesia or Max Muncy, who had to make a great play, or Mookie Betts, who made the great play to begin the ninth, I'm sure if they heard me say that, they'd be like, hey, why don't you shut the hell up, you little fat son of a bitch? You say what you want as far as being stress-free behind a computer watching it. That's not stress-free on the field when you're playing a great team. I get all that, right? But I still say that tonight, which is kind of one of those to where I'm not saying that it's like a reset for your brain after an off day, but it wasn't just that, it was just one of the, like Bob Student 10, it was one of those pretty, beautiful, relaxing, just kind of got to the finish line. And a week from now, you probably won't even remember anything that happened in this game because it was just non-eventful. And you need those games along the way. You can't just be stressed out every single game. You'll burn out and burn and crash eventually. 2-1 Toronto in the third, 1 out with 2 on. I thought Toronto was going to roll over in Seattle. Toronto's good, man, and they can hit. It's one of those deals where they can get, let's see, that's the difference between like Toronto and Milwaukee. You don't feel like Toronto, you feel like is a powder keg waiting to go off. You just don't feel like that with the Brewers. Now, I could be wrong. Again, they've won 4 games in a row 10 times this year. They could come back and beat the Dodgers pitching 4 games in a row. Anything's possible. It would be one of the most miraculous things that ever happened in baseball. If the Brewers came back and beat the Dodgers 4 games in a row, it would lap the Boston Red Sox, the team that Dave Roberts was on 21 years ago, I believe it was, 2004. It would lap that coming back from down 3-0. It would lap that Red Sox against Yankees deal by 10,000 times if the Brewers came back and beat the Dodgers, because it just, other than game one to where Sasaki got nervous and kind of gave away some stuff to the Brewers, it's been a mismatch. So it doesn't feel like the Brewers have the bullets to come back in this. But again, hey, if you go out, you don't execute, you start walking a couple guys, you start giving up a couple of stolen bases, and they start getting their mojo, you never know. You got to continue to play. But the Dodgers definitely low-stress game tonight, for me at least. It was a beautiful game, everything executed perfectly, and it just goes to show you, if the Dodgers play the Dodgers game, how long have we been saying this? The Dodgers are the team, even when they were struggling. We've said this over and over and over and over. If the Dodgers play their game, their A game, they have the ability to control their own destiny more than any other team in baseball, because they have the most talent. And we're seeing that in the postseason right now. Need a blowout for the Dodgers, score 10-plus runs. That would be very nice. Stephanie can't Curry. It's kind of a weird deal, though, because I'm not sure I want like a 6-day layoff. I don't know when would the World Series start. Let me look this up. World Series schedule. And if you win tomorrow, let's kind of look up how many days you would have off. Begins on October 24th, tomorrow being the 17th. That would give you a week off. So in kind of a weird way, by sweeping the Brewers, if you swept tomorrow, I'm not sure that's a great thing for the Dodgers, because I'm not sure you want an entire week off. Now, obviously, you're going to call me a complete dumbass. And, hey, let's go ahead and intentionally lose the next 2 games and send that back to Milwaukee and win one of those 2, so we only have 3 or 4. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it's. I don't know that having 7 days off is advantageous for the Dodgers. So it is what it is. You take care, you knock down what's in front of you, and you have a chance to sweep tomorrow. Ryan R. Pat Murphy overprepared for Ohtani and Freddie, that he forgot other Dodgers players. I agree. I think he is overmanaged in this series. I think I think Pat Murphy, though, too, I think we can say this, Ryan, we're in agreement here. I think he knew the Dodgers were quite a bit better. I think he knew that he had to be perfect. I think he felt like, as a manager, he needed to push a couple of buttons that he doesn't normally push to get this team to do a couple of things that are above and beyond what they're capable of. And it's like running a double. We're having a football theme tonight. It's like when you run a reverse pass back to you and you swing it back to your quarterback on the other side of the field. Hey, yeah, and you have a convoy ahead. If the quarterback catches it, and he might go and score, right? But what if the backside safety stays home, reads the play, and runs right in front of it? There's nobody home. It's a pick six. What I'm saying is, it's high risk, high reward. So when, as a manager, you do things that you don't normally do, you over-prepare for a couple guys, you open Alan Aspie instead of just going with your best arm to begin with, and Jacob Mizorowski. Yes, you might shoot some into your team, like get them to overachieve a little bit, but then again, it might go against you. And then if it goes against you, like I think some of the things that Pat Murphy has done then you've made a situation that was bleak to begin with even tougher. So Stephanie Can't Curry, thank you so much for joining. BP looked good today. History Man 0828, thank you so much for joining. Seattle needs to bounce back and then win tomorrow, and the Dodgers win tomorrow, so both series can end up on the same day. Too much rest for the Dodgers could backfire. That's what we're talking about. So I have it down. It's listed as Friday, October 24th. I guess if Seattle goes ahead and wins, that's kind of what I'm saying if Toronto wins. I guess if Seattle goes ahead and wins tonight and tomorrow, then they can alter the starting date. I'm with you on that. If Seattle has maybe 3 days off and the Dodgers have 7 days off, I would not like that. So that's something to very much so monitor and look out for in the American League Series. Bob Student 10, looking at the dugout, there is no air. Not in the Milwaukee dugout. They know they're beat. So when you know you have a team beat, don't talk shit. Don't get loud. Don't get rah-rah. Don't cheerlead. You know what you do? You make out number 3. You walk off the field. you get a hit, you score a run, you walk back to your dugout, you do your normal celebrations, but you don't do anything to give the other team a reason to get fired up. Just make it boring. Now, that goes to, so when I say tonight was uneventful, now that might sound like a negative connotation. It's actually the biggest compliment that I can give a team. When you're able to win and make it boring and make it like, okay, well, we know how to win. We've done it before. When you do something good and you act like you've done it before, that tells the other team, you don't even know they're there. You just know that you're better than them and you're not even worried about them. So the Dodgers need to keep doing exactly what they did tonight, keep getting leads and keep hitting the baseball and having timely hits, keep getting strike one, keep getting out three, and just keep walking back to the dugout like you've done it before. Make it boring and leave the dugout the same for the Brewers that it is right now. Don't give them any reason why they need to air back up that balloon, okay? Don't give them any reason. Continue to make it boring. Continue to act like you've been there before, because when you act like you've been there before, that is sending a very clear message to the Brewers. You're not even worried about them. You're worried about themselves. And really, when you're acting like you've done it before, you're claiming dominance. That's what you're doing. You're just, it's kind of like when somebody's trying to rile you up, okay, and they're trying to get in underneath your skin. Because usually when somebody's talking crap, they really, what they're saying is they think you're better than they are, and they need to do something psychologically to get underneath your skin to get you out of their game and get you thinking about them instead of what you're supposed to do. That's what talking crap is meant to do, okay? And so by just not even paying attention to the other team, you're allowing them that there's no psychological ploy. I'm not even thinking about you. It's kind of like that pest that's trying to bug you and trying to dupe you into getting into some kind of skirmish. And you go, you know what? You are so insignificant to me. I care so little about what you think. I'm not even paying attention to you right now. If you want to get somebody to stop being a pest or stop being somebody that's trying to be competitive towards you, just act like they don't exist. That's what acting like you've been there before. That's what making things boring. That's what walking back to the dugout, that's what it does to the other team. It is demoralizing when you're getting your ass kicked and the other team's acting like you don't even exist. That's demoralizing. Hey, Sam M., thank you so much for joining. Yes, history, man. The Dodgers are looking very, very good. Sam M., Dodgers pitching is elite. They're making this look much easier than I expected. Me too. What I didn't expect was the tremendous game plan of the Dodgers being able, Blake Snell pitched backwards all night long and still was throwing strike one. I just thought Blake Snell would walk 4 or 5 guys. The Brewers would be able to get on, get over, get in, score 3 or 4 runs, and it'd be a damn good barn burner. I thought Yoshinobu Yamamoto would do the same thing. I thought Tyler Glasnow would do the same thing. I just honestly, as good as the Dodgers pitchers are, as good as their stuff is, yes, it's been about stuff because their stuff is better than the bats of the Brewers. But really what it's been about having a plan, throw strike one, get ahead in the count, make it 2nd and 12 for the Brewers hitters, right? And then it's been about executing. I honestly, as good as I think that Blake Snell is, as good as I think. And then I also didn't think Blake Snell would go 8. I didn't think Yamamoto would go the entire 9 innings. I didn't think that would happen because I really didn't think they would be able to execute as well as they have been able to execute against the Brewers. I thought, first of all, the Brewers would be good enough to at least make them fight a little bit harder to get their execution. And so it's not like they're not capable of it. I will say this. I'm surprised that the Dodgers pitchers have executed the game plan as well as they have through 3 games, because to be honest with you, if you played these 3 games back over and over and over and over, times over, I'm not sure that you could get better results than what the Dodgers starting pitchers have given you. You could replay these 3 games a million different times, and I'm not sure you could ever expect better results than what you've gotten. So, hey, the execution has been something that has been close to perfect for the pitching. The defense has been close to perfect. And how many times? as much as the game of baseball changes, some things will never change. Pitching, defense, timely hitting. It is an age-old formula that will always work. And then also the occasional bloop and blast, okay? I mean, so even the Cardinals of the 80s that had Vince Coleman and Willie McGee and Ozzie Smith and all these little jackrabbits that like to run around and steal bases and bunt and hit the ball the other way and beat out infield base hits. A team that's Tommy Herr, guys that Terry Pendleton, guys that play. Even those teams had Jack Clark, right? Even they had Pedro Guerrero for a while. Even they had a couple of guys that Daryl Porter could hit home runs whenever he was their catcher there too. So yes, the bloop and the blast is part of it. We have just seen a complete offense. We've seen the Dodgers be able to build innings by walking and base hitting and moving runners, and we've also seen the Dodgers be able to have the old bloop and the blast. So has it been a million different runs? No, but has it been? So let's call what the Dodgers have been playing playoff offense. Now, what is playoff offense? Playoff offense is scoring against elite pitching in a myriad of different ways to score enough runs to be able to beat your opponent. Not a million runs, but the Dodgers have had the bloop and the blast. They've had base hits. They've had walks. They've had 2-out base hits. They've had 2-strike base hits. And because of all that, they have been able to take advantage of timely hitting more than their opponents. They've had better pitching, and they've had excellent defense as well. A timeless and ageless formula, 100%. Hey, Tina Guzman, last season the Dodgers had bullpen games. You have to play the games. History man, Dodgers are looking good. Sam M., Dodgers pitching is elite. They're making this look much easier than I expected. Me too. Job's not finished. A quote from Kobe Bryant. Totally agree with you there, Tina Guzman. Tark the Shark, good evening, everybody. Sasaki is back and Ohtani is hitting again. Life is good. Bruce Davis, the pen is looking a lot better. Blake Trinan looking good. I agree. I like the fact that he's challenging the strike zone, trusting his stuff. Hey, I see some new names. Totally agree, CNAV. Dodgers Dawgs is part of the Dodgers Daily Network. Thank you so much for joining. Please subscribe, and thank you so much for that compliment. Best Dodgers content on the YouTube. Thank you so much for that. Di Tran says, hit the like button. Thank you so much. Let's go, Di Tran. No doubt about that. Bob Student 10, the team is grinding. There's another thing, okay? Coach Holt says this all the time. This is a tough-ass team, man. I mean, hey, I said in the Phillies performance for Tyler Glasnow, I knew he's good, but is he clutch? Is he mentally tough? That's the hurdle I wanted to see Tyler Glasnow cross. Damn if he didn't cross that in spades. Tyler Glasnow has proved that he can be trusted every day and twice on Sundays. That son of a bitch is mentally tough. And hey, I questioned that. I didn't question it, but I wasn't sure. I was like, hey, we're going to kind of see in this Phillies game here, is Tyler Glasnow, is he really the guy? Is he the clutch guy? Is he mentally tough? You know, because of the rain earlier in the year, and then he's always hurt, this and that. To me, that was a question mark. Not anymore, man. Yoshinobu Yamamoto coming through in the clutch. Blake Snell, absolute money, right? Tommy Edman, we know that son of a bitch is clutch. We know Teo's clutch. We know Max is clutch. We know Will Smith is tough as hell. We know Freddie Freeman's one of the toughest human beings on earth. We know Mookie Smith. Mookie Betts lost 15 pounds, had his worst offensive season in God knows how long, fought through that, and is now back to being just one of the maybe the best shortstop in all the game. That son of a bitch is tough as hell, okay? Andy Pye has sucked, absolutely sucked when he came up to the major leagues, to the point to where, rightfully so, Dodgers fans didn't want him to be on the roster, okay? That son of a bitch turned it around, okay? That's called being mentally tough right there. Okay, we see guys come off the bench, do what they're supposed to do. You tell me Miguel Rojas isn't a tough son of a bitch? Absolutely he is. So, not again, we talked about the fit, the culture the other night, on yesterday's podcast. How about also talking about not just getting guys that fit in terms of being great people, happy people, people that you want to be around for 6 months. They're not turds, that kind of deal. The Dodgers also have found guys like Freddie Freeman that are great baseball players, even better human beings, and then also are foxhole guys. So one of the biggest requirements to winning is having guys that when the shit hits the fan and when the pressure mounts, can you rely on them to stay with you, or do they fold under pressure? So when you evaluate the type of player the Dodgers front office has gotten, they've gotten it. So why do you give Mookie Betts the long-term contract? Because he's a great human being. He's a great player. And then also he's tough as hell. He's going to fight through injuries. He's going to fight through losing 15 pounds. A lot of other guys with a long-term contract, they're fat and happy. You won a World Series last year. You've made more money in your life than you can ever spend. A lot of lesser human beings, a lot of lesser motivated human beings, guys that aren't as tough as Mookie Betts, probably cashes that season in and says, hey, it's been fun, finds an injury, makes an excuse, and away we go. Freddie Freeman, the same way. Why do you sign him to a long-term contract? Because even though you won a World Series last year and he had the Kirk Gibson moment, he doesn't give a rat's ass. He's injured. He's not coming out because so the Dodgers have found guys that are gritty too. So when you kind of look at this team, they pitch, they hit, they play defense. For the most part, they play intelligent, other than a couple of guys in their team that we've addressed that. And then they're tough. It's the full package that the front office has put together, and it's why in the last couple of years, the Dodgers have developed a roster that can morph and win in whichever way they need to win. Hey, if they need to outslug a series, they can do that. If they need to pitch, play defense, and get timely hitting, they can do that as well. If they need to base run, they can do that. If they need to base hit, they can do that. If they need to bunt, they can do that. And whatever it may be, the Dodgers can, if they need to throw a bullpen game, they can do that. The Dodgers have built a roster that can literally beat teams in every which way. And to be able to do that, that starts with pitching. First of all, you get dominant pitching. There's an old saying, pitching gives you courage. So if you get dominant pitching, that gives the rest of your game, as long as you're playing defense, time to get that courage to do what they need to do. Give that gold glove to Mookie, says Tark the Shark. Mookie, man, like I said, I was totally wrong on him. I can't tell you how much respect I have for Mookie Betts. Absolutely awesome. Although, love that you don't have to sweat out and throw from Mookie anymore. You don't have to sweat out a throw. Yeah, he threw a lot low to Freddie, especially at the beginning of this year. Wouldn't have the ball anywhere else now, no doubt about that. Ryan R., who's pitching for the Brew Crew tomorrow? Probably another opener. That would be my guess. We'll go over that. Well, I don't think we'll have a show. Actually, let me type that in. Who is pitching? And maybe we can get it for the Brewers tomorrow. I doubt that's probably going to be one of those where Pat Murphy doesn't want to show his hand and make the Dodgers guess. I would say that probably we won't know until late tomorrow who that will be. But I would guess, Jose Quintana. There you go, Steve. But he'll knock down the bulk innings, which, hey, he's a guy that kind of like Quinn Priester. He's going to keep the ball low. The Dodgers will have a great game plan against him. They will make him throw strikes. It's going to be a matter of if he can keep the ball low and throw strikes. Dodgers had a lot of success against him with the Mets last year. He's a guy that the Dodgers can get to. Jose Quintana will probably knock down the bulk innings. Not probably, he will. But it'll be a matter of, does he get the opener, or do you just give the ball to him? In game one, whenever Dave went to Roki instead of letting Blake Snell finish, he learned his lesson from that. Game two, he let Yamamoto finish. So Pat Murphy goes with the opener today with Alan Ashby. Mizorowski doesn't come in the game until the Brewers are already losing. And then it's just kind of, you don't get any momentum from there. The Brewers never got the lead, which is something I needed to do tonight. So let's see if Pat Murphy learns his lesson from that and says, I'm not doing the closer. I'm going with my best guy first. I would guess that's what he would do. So I would guess that Quintana would start the game tonight, because I just think he outthought himself with the opener tonight. Voico, over 90%, 7% chance of going to the World Series now. Yes, that is super, super duper exciting. Bob Student 10, Max throw to home, and Mookie's Jeter-esque play. That definitely was Jeter-esque. That was absolutely an awesome play. And they were in huge situations, performing under pressure. Max is bearing down on a guy that is trying to score, trying to take the lead for the Brewers. And then Mookie, I'm telling you, when you get that leadoff runner on, it is a totally different inning there. Al Minerva, don't let the Dodgers haters talk down our starting pitching. We went to the playoff 2 years ago with Kershaw, Miller, Syndergaard, and Lynn. I'll take boring any day, no doubt. Hey, saying that the Dodgers, again, Al Minerva, saying the Dodgers are making it boring is literally the biggest compliment to the maturity of this team, that they're able to just win and act like they have been there before. Al Minerva, Brewers have a guy named Monasterio. You have to be kidding me. He must be from the Padres. Yeah, as far as the week off, the offense has been a no-show anyways. So what's the harm? I would say, Eric, I wouldn't say no-show. I would say it's been good enough to be complimentary to the pitching the Dodgers have had to this point. I don't think Jackson Churio plays tomorrow, says Carlos Garcia. I don't know. We didn't get a report, I don't think, after that, if it was cramps or what that was. It did not look very good for the Brewers. Although last few games have been very, very, very easy watches. Yeah, just get a lead, make it boring. That's the an old saying in baseball. Is it Ohtani Sheehan piggyback game tomorrow? That would be my guess. I have not talked about that. I would imagine Ohtani for 6, Sheehan for 7, 8, 9. That would be my guess. Knock on wood, the Brewers can't string hits together to get really going. The starting pitching has been off the charts, no doubt. Dodgers are pretty stress-free with a 3-0 lead in the series, says Benjaminsu Sun. Hey, CNAP, great takes. Getting a coach's aspect is much better than listening to someone that never threw a baseball past Little League. Thank you so much for your wonderful, wonderful, wonderful compliments. Cheerios. Yeah, I like the flavored Cheerios. I got to have a little bit more flavor than just normal Cheerios. Hey, Casey, Brewers are kicking 70. Yeah, we are back to our talk from the beginning of this. Oklahoma State has homecoming tomorrow, so I'm gonna go ahead and get to some of this chat and then get on out of here. Bruce Davis thank you so much for joining. JC, thank you so much for joining. Bruce, Brewers were 4th in the World Series odds at Vegas before the Phillies series. I believe they were 6th to 8th in the playoffs. If Murphy threw Uribe again, I think I will have him arrested for some sort of abuse. Yeah, man, I think Murphy has managed this series a little bit, I don't know if too aggressively, but of course, when the other team's better than you, it seems like nothing you do works. I'll just put it into that category. Hey, Kershaw should close out the game tomorrow. I've said that, Leon. How cool would it be if the Dodgers get a 5-1 lead and Emmett Sheehan, let's say Ohtani throws 1 through 6, Sheehan throws 7 and 8, Kershaw throws 9. Let's get that done. Let's have Kershaw throw the last out of that game. And then it'd be cool, too, if he did the same thing for the World Series, too. That was a huge throw by Mookie Rumar. No doubt about that. Yeah, Quintana, either he's going to be the starter or they'll have an opener, but he is going to be the bulk inning guy. Bruce Davis just played Dodgers baseball, and we win. Hey, JC just knew it before the series started. Brewers are overrated, 15-15 in their last 30, and struggled against the Cubs. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to open up a new meeting. We were not able to get the audio from Mark, so we weren't ever able to get him in. So, Mark, if you're watching, I hate that we weren't able to get you in. But here is the link. If you want to come in, we will do audio only tonight. We'll give you a couple of minutes to go ahead and log in and get your thoughts there. Okay, so let me scroll back up. There's the link I just posted that link right there in the chat. And so, yeah, make sure and hit that like button. That really helps the channel. And then also, once we're off, we sign off on this podcast, then also leave a comment in the regular comment section, because that makes YouTube think it's being interacted with and that fans like the video, and then therefore it gets recommended more often. So if the ALCS, Seattle will win it tomorrow in Toronto if the ALCS goes. I just think I think Toronto's the better team, and I just don't see them laying. I think Toronto still has a really good chance of winning that series. So, again, I put the link in the chat. If you want to hop in, click that link. A couple more minutes here. Al Minerva, Padres doing suavecito to the Dodgers fans when they were certain they were going to win the series. Evan Alana picked them, and then, bam, the pin. Yeah, the Padres. Oh, the Padres. Wow. I feel sorry for you, Padres. It's a sad deal. If you're going to rely on your top 2 players being absolute punks, you get what you get. Rumar Spencer, seeing the difference between the regular season and the playoffs and our opponents, noticing it about how good the Dodgers are. Don't let the Dodgers haters talk down our starting pitching. The starting pitching, hey, last year the Dodgers didn't hardly have any starting pitching, had to throw a bullpen game in the playoffs. This year, the Dodgers, the starting pitching, complete opposite. Give the front office credit for being just fantastic and pitching and picking up the starting pitching. Let me go ahead. Yeah, let me mute that. We have Bruce Davis in the house, audio only. Bruce, what's up, my man?
Hey, Casey, man, wonderful. I mean, I love hearing you, man, as a coach. I really appreciate, all the stuff that that you throw out, because there's things like a lot of us don't understand, maybe myself. But I just want to say I appreciate you, man. I've learned a lot more about baseball, and I've kind of calmed down, a little bit, even though that we're winning. But I know during the regular season we were having just with the pen, this and that. I wanted to get your thoughts. Do you think Trinan, Roki are starting to kind of come together a little bit now?
Okay, so Trinan, this is what Trinan has done. Trinan has told himself, my sweeper is good enough, even if I hang one every now and then, I am going to throw it for a strike. And so the one adjustment Trinan has made is they are going to have to hit me. And here's the deal, Bruce. If you've never played baseball at a high level, if you've never seen a 90-mile-an-hour pitch to begin with and tried to hit a 90-mile-an-hour pitch, it's freaking hard, man. You're trying to hit a round ball with a round object. So when we sit back behind our keyboards and go, oh, he hung one. How'd he miss that pitch? Well, I can tell you how you missed that pitch, because it's hard to hit an 80-mile-an-hour pitch. It's hard to hit a 90-mile-an-hour pitch coming straight, okay? But what Blake Trinan has understood is that if I have, say, 24 inches of combined vertical and horizontal break on a pitch, even if it's not located to a great part of the zone, that's still a really hard pitch to hit, and it's a lot better situation than not throwing a strike. Because what teams were doing to Trinan was, if they saw spin and the ball was starting out in the zone, they just wouldn't swing at it because they knew it would start a strike and break to be a ball. So Trinan has just said, the adjustment I'm going to make, right, is that I'm going to start the ball out of the zone. So instead of throwing strike to ball and trying to get chase, now he's throwing ball to strike, and now he's forcing teams to swing at it. And first of all, it's hard enough to hit anything that's 90. It's hard enough to hit something that's moving close to 30 inches. And then also, Bruce, when you're in a situation to where you're down 3 runs or 2 runs and you're pressing, it becomes even harder in that situation. So Trinan is just using the odds of baseball and then the situations against the team to have success.
You know what? Now that you said that, that's what I mean. Like, I never even thought about that. I get it. The pitches will come in, will either be up and then they'll either go down, or his slurve where it goes straight and then it cuts. I guess I don't know. I guess that's a slider, whatever you guys sweeper. I guess that's new to me. But I see, or he throws that high fastball.
Yes.
And he gets guys to chase. Yeah. Me personally, this is just what I believe as a fan. I think that Trinan is now starting to kind of get it together. I get it. He's been a problem. He's blown, just like Tanner. But this is our guy, and if it wasn't for this guy last year, we wouldn't have won. So we gotta do our best with our best players, like Casey says, the ones that we trust. Doc trusts Trinan, Vesia. He's trusting Roki. He trusted Dreyer. So we just have to trust our guys and go for it. That's it. I still think we're going to go to the World Series. I don't know if we win tomorrow. We're going to win one of these next 2 games and go to the World Series, Casey.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Hey, thank you, Bruce. Appreciate you logging on. I'm going to put that link in the chat here. We can get to you here in a couple of minutes. Yes, Blake Trinan, he is throwing. So he's the adjustment is, instead of throwing strike to ball and trying to get chase, he's throwing ball to strike and just trying to induce weak contact. And as Bruce said, trying to challenge the top of that zone to get above, like the uppercuts of, say, like a Bryce Terang, even an Andrew Vaughn, even a Christian Yelich, get up above the uppercuts of those type swings. And it's been a really good formula for him. And then Roki Sasaki, He has just been. I'm going to talk to Dave Anderson when I have a chance, the AAA coach, the pitching coach for the AAA Oklahoma City Comets, and I'm going to talk to him about Roki. I hope to do that in between the NLCS and the World Series, and he's going to explain the transformation of Roki Sasaki. So I know he's made some mechanical changes, but the bottom line is he's throwing strikes, he's challenging hitters in the zone, his ball is turning right, okay, and then he has the splitter. So I mean, it's a really good combination for him, and he is not afraid to fail. Here's another big one. You said, Dave, the couple things you hear Dave say is trust. Who do I trust? Right? That's one. And then the other thing he'll say all the time is don't be afraid to fail. You cannot be afraid to fail. When I say that Blake Trinan, his goal is to throw strikes, that's showing you he's not afraid to fail. He's not afraid to let a guy swing at one of his pitches. Guys that are afraid to fail try to trick guys all the time and try to throw ball to strike pitches and try to get chase because they don't want guys to hit it, right? Guys who aren't afraid to fail, like Emmett Sheehan, they just throw it up there and they go, here you go, big boy, see if you can hit it. That's what Blake Trinan's doing right now. That's what Roki Sasaki's doing. And as a manager, as a fan, when you see a guy out there just pumping it in the strike zone, moving the ball, and he is confident enough to throw the ball in the zone because he didn't think hitters can beat his stuff, that right there gets him in the trust tree very, very fast. So here's what I'll say the end of Blake Trinan. Okay, regardless of what you might think about him, he is at the top of Dave's trust tree. Dave is going to use him, so get used to it. And so we might as well just hope that Blake Trinan continues to pitch the way that he has the last couple of times out and ends up being the Blake Trinan in 2025 that he was in 2024. Hey, the greatest athlete ever in Michael Jordan, yes, he couldn't hit. Yeah, it's the hardest thing in sports to do. So, hey, that's going to do it for me tonight. I've been rambling on long enough, and I've got other things to do. So, although I love talking to all you wonderful Dodgers dogs, thank you so much for tuning in tonight. Thank you, Bruce, for chiming in. Thank you for everybody that joined the chat. Don't forget to leave a comment, not in this chat. Go to the comment section and leave a comment. And if you have not liked this video, do that right now. Thank you again to all you wonderful Dodgers dogs. And as always, it's a great day to be a Dodger.